Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, Matthew Gomez, Steven Spielberg. Before all of these great and handsome directors were ever considered the greatest, there were once rookies in the game. And being new in the game, it comes with some things that suck. So if you're a new filmmaker, I just want to spread some light on these things you may not have known so that you're not too discouraged when these things happen. Let's go. Number 1 is feeling lost. You're in a whole new world and you're trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like, and you're overflooded with information of what gear to buy, storytelling techniques, should you go to film school, and most importantly, how are you supposed to make a career out of this? Often this feeling of uncertainty can lead to loneliness and depression, and trust me, I've been there. A lot of people don't even get started because making a film, it's so complicated. There's so many different moving parts, and finding a place to begin, it just feels impossible. But don't worry, for this you just gotta push through, make as many films, and just develop your skills as much as you can. Number 2 is knowing what advice to take. This one is huge. It's really hard to receive good feedback from the people around you because there's so many biases in the way. Some people might love you and not want to hurt your feelings. Some people may not like you and try to discourage you from moving forward. And sometimes some people just might not understand your story. There are so many biases that get in the way of accurate judgment, especially in such a subjective industry like film. And especially when you're on the younger side, you're gonna have a lot of people that don't take you serious, so they're gonna have little expectations about you. And if you argue and disagree with them, there's a good chance that they'll call you stubborn. You need to be strong-willed in your story and choices, and at the same time, you also need to be open to other people's ideas. But learning how to filter out the good and the bad advice is what makes it really complicated. Are there bad movies out there? Yes. Are there stupid people out there? Yes. And maybe there's some truth in both. Maybe one part of your movie sucks, and maybe one part of that person sucks. Some people just can't imagine something they haven't seen before, so you might have to be the person to show them. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad idea, only bad execution. Number 3 is intentional things being seen as mistakes. So I have a real life example for this one. For my short film Luxor, there's a dialogue scene where the conversation is being heard from outside the car, which then transitions inside the car.
Sorry I couldn't take you out anywhere, money's tight right now.
No, don't apologize. Hanging out with you was a lot of fun.
Okay, cool.
So my sound guy Mark and I had the idea of matching that transition, outside to inside. But when people would watch the film, they would tell me,
"Oh, why's the audio messed up?"
Dude, you gotta do better with your audio.
And it's like, dude, if I was like David Fincher, Christopher Nolan, these big time directors, nobody would even question that. But because I'm me and I don't have that much to my name, people just think it's a mistake. Freaking sucks. Number 4 is managing ego. This is a big one a lot of people don't talk about. Whether you want to admit it or not, ego is a very present thing that every single person has. The difference between highly successful people and people who aren't as successful is if they're using their ego effectively or not. And it's a really hard thing trying to balance that. In order to be great, you need to believe that you are. Not being able to be humble will get rid of your objective view of yourself. It's weird. You need to have so much self-belief in yourself that other people's opinions won't tear you down, but you also need to be humble enough to accept the honest truth in yourself and what other people may say. Ego can push you to greatness, but it can also blind you at the same time. I think you should treat your ego with as much logic as possible. Allow your ego to propel you forward with your limitless potential, but don't let it blind you from the truth. A side effect of a big ego is what I like to call being a false perfectionist, which is someone who will always bring themselves down even when it's not needed. What do I mean by this? If you hate every project you make, or find something to tear yourself down even if your project or your work is good, then I don't think your logical reasoning is all the way there. You're biased and you're just hating on yourself. If you think your project sucks, you need to give reasons as to why you think it sucks. You can't just throw these accusations for no reason. How do you expect to be great if you can't even accurately distinguish the quality of your own work? There's a difference between self-reflection and self-deprecation. Last but not least, number 5. Money is actually important. Hold on, what? What's wrong? Even Daisy's not happy about the money part. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but this is true to an extent. So as filmmakers, most of us aren't privileged with millions of dollars to make the movies that we want, which is actually good because it allows us to use our creativity and use the things around us more effectively. It makes us more crafty. But at that same time, if you're trying to get better and you're actually trying to do this professionally, you eventually need to work with bigger budgets. And believe me when I say this, more money, more problems. I recently finished shooting my upcoming short film Gamer Boy, which had a way bigger budget than I'm used to. And there are so many little nuances and little lessons and big lessons I learned in that film that it honestly changed the way that I'm gonna do filmmaking going forward. It honestly deserves its own video with all the things that I learned, but point being, there are just some things that you learn on bigger productions that you won't on smaller productions. And as a new filmmaker, you don't need to worry about this for now. Just focus on creating films and getting a little bit better each time. But eventually, you're gonna need to advance to bigger budgets. Well, hopefully I didn't scare you off too bad. I just wanted to make this video to let you know that if you're feeling a little bit sad and depressed on your journey, that there's at least one person person that can say that they know how you feel. And if you're feeling really alone, you should join my Discord. Shameless plug. I'm building a community of filmmakers, so if you want to meet new people, talk film, or just be connected into the community, the link will be in the description. I really appreciate you watching the whole video, and if you have any ideas for any future videos or anything you want me to talk about, just let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.